Hello, it's Waffle with Wallis, and today I have Steve Barman. He won't disclose the other bit of his name, he's just Steve Barman. Steve the Barman, sorry. So Steve.
Hello my darling, how are you?
I'm good. I'm even better than that.
Have you been on holiday?
Yeah, Canatan.
Where? Canatan? What's that?
Can of tan.
Aldi. Special.
No, actually, I've got a British one.
So tell us we get chat.
Yeah, it is Saint-Tropez. But yeah, where did I go? Canatan.
Canatan, I like that.
Right, so let's start off about you. And how did you start being a barman?
Oh, day after my 18th birthday. So 5 years ago.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
22 years ago. Day after my 18th birthday, I got a job in a local pub in Cherry Hinton in Cambridge.
Oh, right.
Robin Hood, a little job back then. I think it's the Robin Hood now. While I was doing my A-levels, just a bit of part-time work, so I was cleaning at the time, so just fancied a bit of pub work,
yeah.
But evenings extra money. And started the day after my 18th birthday. Within 6 months, I became an assistant manager while I was still doing my A-levels. And the rest is kind of history. But I'm now a cocktail bartender. That's what I like to refer to myself. Not a mixologist. We don't.
Right, you're not gonna.
That's a Ponzi word.
I'm going to quick rewind back a bit, because when you were at school, while you were doing your barman thing, you mentioned you were going to be doing coaching?
Yeah, I had a couple of places at uni. I had Nottingham Trent and Liverpool John Moores, and I was going to go off and do sports coaching. Right. And the reason why those two, because they were practical courses and everything else was classroom sort of thing. So I had places to go, and because I loved sport, I loved playing football and hockey and all that. So I had no idea of what I wanted to do. Absolutely no idea. So they just kind of were a bit of fun and just fit. So that was the grand plan as a 16, 17-year-old. Yeah. Didn't quite work out like that.
And then you fancied, you liked the bars, you liked the social.
I loved the social, and I loved it was a really weird thing, because right from an 18-year-old, I didn't like beer anyway, when I went out drinking. Never got into beer. Right. Didn't really like wine as such. And it was the spirits. I was attracted to the spirits, the whiskies, the brandies, the vodkas and all that. And
that's what you thought was the market?
Yeah. So I had some pretty colours as well,
Always helps.
Big labels.
Yeah.
So it was just it was a natural sort of progression.
So, at what point did it come out of being in pubs and?
So I was in with Green King for about 4 years. As I said, I was an assistant manager, but I was also a manager. I was on the relief circuit in Cambridge for a kind of while. So when the managers went on holiday, I'd go in there. So I basically ran all the Green King managed house pubs at one point or another. Then we got, because we were a training house at the time, we were one of Green King's flagship training houses, so all the new managers who were coming to Green King would come in there, so that's, we trained up all these newbie managers. Then we got shipped off down to Essex, down to Langdon, at the time, which was Green King's biggest pub, huge pub. Yeah. Bit of a, I won't go.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was training. Yeah. That really was training,
So, and then got hated it down there, hated the people, don't like Essex people.
He's sitting in Essex, he's sitting in Essex. Don't worry, I have a knife under the table.
No, I just didn't get on with that. So I moved back to Cambridge without a job and ended up working in university bars, Cambridge University, and spent the bulk of a long time in my career there actually, sort of 10, 12 years between two colleges. At the time, I wanted, because my drive with spirits, always loved spirits. Yeah. At the time, there was no real. We're talking mid-90s back then. Yeah. There was no real cocktail culture or way to learn culture. YouTube wasn't a huge thing like that, and you couldn't learn how to be a cocktail bartender. Yeah. So what I did, I got off my back. So I wrote to 6 cocktail bars in London. And said, right. I would love to come and work for you guys free. I just want to train on my couple of days off. 2 bars got back to me, and I tried both of them and ended up at one for kind of 6 months. And that's gone now. It was a bar called Lounge Lover in Shoreditch. And that's where I learnt my trade. That's when I started off as a bar back.
Do you do all the...
I don't do all the juggling, no. I thought you
were going to do the,
come on, right. So you've
cruise,
got a busy bar, you've got a bartender here, sir, you've got someone who's juggling, throwing bottles. As a customer, which one are you going to come to?
Well, of course, yeah.
Exactly.
Take the money, take the money.
So, no, I don't juggle bottles.
Okay. So, when did you decide you'd go out on your own?
So, part of Cambridge University, the bars, each bar in there, they've all, there's 30 odd colleges, 32 colleges, whatever it is, they've all got tiny bars, holds about 100 people. Well, outside of term, students are only there 26 weeks a year, out of term, all the colleges do conferences or weddings and all that. So what we then actually ended up most of the summer and Easter doing is setting up outside bars in marquees and halls or anything like that, bars in the Master's Lodge, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I actually loved it. I loved it. Different people every night, different thing. You went from a wedding to big corporate stuff.
And people are always at their best instead of, I suppose, being in a pub when you sort of can go up and down in the mood. It's a party, it's you.
Exactly, it's there. So, so that's where the mobile bar stuff came. I did kind of, I left the college bars to go and work for a friend at the time with the purpose of setting up, running their mobile bar stuff, but that didn't last too long. Just kind of ended up, went to work at another pub with some, up where I lived in Ely. Yeah. And that's where the real idea and the nuts and bolts came together, and I started saving, and
that was it. You were on your way. Yeah. So, and I've got to remind myself.
She's got a cue card. I feel like I'm on 15 to 1 or something. All these questions.
Oh, well, did you get it? Didn't? Did I get it? Probably more like. So.
You are the weakest thing, goodbye.
Quite probably. So, at what point did you think? Well, you won't use the words I said earlier, but that's not for me anymore. I'm going to now go out and do it.
It's just,
how many years ago?
As business owners, we're all, we all get to that point where we think we can do better than our boss. And I never had the money to own my own bar or pub or anything like that. So. But then I love the mobile bar thing. So it's kind of, where are we now? I've been in business, this is my 5th year, so mid to end 2012 has been alright.
But when you first left, it was a little time before you got your first...
so like we get just like, I can do this, let's quit the job. I quit the job, had a bit of money saved up. 5 months. 5 months it took me to get my first booking. So I had the money run out by then, I had to go back.
Did you have any nails, man?
Well, I've got nails. You have to get the wrinkles off the ginger beer and all stuff. So I went and helped a couple of friends out who just got pubs in Ely, and I was just giving them their days off at basically a Sunday night and a Monday, and took the drain on Tuesdays, and I did that to kind of support myself for a year or so.
So what made it go from like struggling through, and then what was your? It
was just a bit of getting off my backside and learning at the time. But I started networking. That was the huge game changer for me. Yeah. Absolute massive game changer. My best friend now, I met her just before she set up her business, Nikki Butlin, Athena Business Services, bookkeeper extraordinaire. Plug. She basically came down to Ely at another networking event that I went to, coffee morning kind of thing, because she was launching King's Lynn Forum. Right. So she came down looking for people to invite along. We just kind of, she avoided me first because here's a little funny story for you. You'll love this story. The coffee morning I was at published the attendance list beforehand, so it said Steve. It said Steve the Barman, but it said Thirst First. Well, she very quickly went on Google Thirst First, and of course, at the time before I went big, Thirst First is a water cooler company down in Brighton. So she avoided me. Oh. Because they're dull and boring, these water cooler peepers, aren't they? And then she realised the shirts and stuff. It's actually not a water cooler person. No. But anyway, that's a funny story. We digress. So she invited me along to For Networking launch at King's Lynn. This was back in 2014. We're in very early January 2014. I joined For Networking the day before at Cambridge South. Oh, right. Because there was a meeting just about. You just happened to pop in and that was it. Let's go. Yeah. So,
and that's the one at Grant Park?
It is now. At the time it was in a little pub.
In a pub, Barbie's something.
oh God, the George.
Yeah. Oh, right,
George,
okay.
Yeah, that's where it was. No, you're thinking of John Barleycorn in
That's
Dyslexic.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you moved from there, yeah. And Grant has got lots of room.
So yeah, that kind of set me on my way to where I am now, sort of thing. There's loads of things, we're going to get onto networking sort of stuff, but the one thing I very quickly realised with networking, that for me, it probably actually wasn't going to be about getting business networking,
right.
Especially for networking.
Right.
Because the way I see it in 4N or in any networking, there's two types of business, luxury and necessity.
Yeah.
As I mentioned Nikki before, Nikki's got one of those necessity businesses. She's a bookkeeper. We all need bookkeepers. Me, I do mobile cocktail bars. No one needs my services, so I've got to keep planting the seed. But what I did realise through my networking platform was that all these foresights, it's all about personal development for me. Yeah. Personal development. So I used everyone's foresights like web design, Google AdWords, bookkeeping for accounting I learned how to run and market my business through 4Network. So in my first year of 4Networking, my turnover trebled. Not because of the bookings I got through 4Networking,
but what you'd learned
but what I learned to implement in.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So it's just this massive, and I just realised that I love to learn as well. Yeah. Never really understood that.
No. No, it's something I think I've certainly found that from Foresight. You look and you think, is that of interest to me? How am I going to find that interesting? Am I going to use it? Oh, actually, do you know what? I really like the person. Yeah. Let's go along. And it's amazing the information you find.
Do you know what? It's this craziest thing, and I'm not plugging for networking. I'm really not. But it's this craziest thing.
No, but it is.
You think of the seminars that you can go to. You can learn stuff. A day seminar could be 300, 400, 500 quid. Yeah. 15 quid for a meeting, and you've got these 20 minutes plus these. I would go to 4Networking just for these foresights.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I learned how to run my business from them.
Yeah.
So many people.
And you all of a sudden it's like, I can remember somebody was having a birthday party, and that was, who got the invite because Steve's doing the bar. So, you get those sort of things as well. And it only takes being seen and going out there. And you've become, I actually hate the word, but you have become a celebrity. How many foresights? We have everybody knows.
It's the shirt. Where are we thinking this, by the way?
Yeah. What's the brand? I've heard you.
Joe Brown's.
Yeah, that's
Joe
it.
Brown's,
and they do utility warehouse cashback.
They do. You saw that yesterday, yeah?
No. I heard it this morning. I heard that this morning. Yes.
Yeah. Utility warehouse.
I will be. Yes.
You will be. Yeah. I signed up yesterday. So.
Yeah. No. Cool. Very good.
But
So how many foresights?
Right. So I've lost count now, but it's around about the 120 mark. I've been a member for just over 3 years. And other than the owner, Brad, legend, hi Brad, but I don't know how many Mikey's done now, but other than those two, I hold the record for the most number of foresights done in 4Networking, bearing in mind it's been going 11 years.
So that's 40? No.
What?
How many a year has that then?
My big year was, the 2015, where are we now, 17? Yeah, 2000, I did about 54, I think it was.
So, realistically, more than one a week?
Yeah. Well, I would just go on tours. I would go, because the thing with foresights, when I first started, I was a little bit shy. And this is the personal development thing coming. Yeah. This is absolutely crazy. When I first started, I became a group leader with 4Networking, and that was cool. I was really nervous and all that. But to do the foresight where you're standing there in front of a room full of people, I was absolutely cacking my pants. I didn't want to do it. Put me behind a bar, my comfort zone is absolutely fine. But to talk, I was cacking my pants.
So what did you do on your very first 40 seconds?
My God, I don't know, I bumbled it, and do you know what, I remember I had grey trousers on, and I had a plain shirt, and all this, that and the other.
Yeah, you thought you should play that networking part instead of being you.
Different. I have no idea. Even now, I really remember probably about 3 or 4 months into 4Networking, still having no clue how to absolutely nail my 40 seconds.
I think that is wherever you go, it's you know, it's one of those things that you love it. When somebody nails it, you think,
hey,
I want to do it just like that. How am I going? But in actual fact, there's people at these networks that can do that for you.
And you know the little bits at the end of the 40 seconds, what do you call them? The kind of the hooks or the catchphrase.
Strap lines.
There we go.
Yeah.
I 2.5 years, well, nearly 3 years, I never had a strap line and I desperately wanted one. And well, I know we'll come on to it a bit, but I've got one now.
Oh, good.
My name's Steve the Barman. I don't just work behind bars, I raise them. How good is that? But that all ties in with the next chapter.
Oh, it does. It does.
That's good.
So you basically networking lifted your business. It raised the bar.
Hey.
And you met people in the business that helped you. It's not going and finding your business. It's helping you develop.
Yeah. It was kind of. Well, I mean, all these. You know, the list is endless of all these people that are willing to help you for free, and or just, you know, you'd have one-to-ones with people. You'd ask them questions, but then you'd have number 4 and number 5. You know, you'd hang around for like half an hour after, and all these people, because whether it was just because I was a celebrity, I don't know what it was.
You became.
Nothing to it. But
You are very well known.
But I was just so lucky that people wanted to help me, and I you can see now it is actually just for its way. They just want to help everyone. You know, you become part of that. But it's just this humbling thing when someone gives you their time for 20 minutes, for half an hour, and just 4 or 5 little tips that you could do. Steve, I've looked at the back end of your website, and you're coding your header, you know, it's in the wrong place. It's just all these simple things that actually got me from page 4 or 5 on Google up to like literally 1 or 2 on page 1, but you know, number 1, number 2, where for mobile cocktail bar at Cambridge, for Bishop Stortford, for Stevenage, you know, it was nuts, absolutely nuts. It was just through friends. And you done some coaching? Yeah, I rolled back to last year, 2016. So you know, I've done a few things. I've been on Brad's Be a Better Speaker and Build a Better Business. Done those 2 things. They were brilliant, but kind of the wrong time for me, sort of thing. You know, you have, and this is kind of a funny story as well, because you're surrounded by peer group pressure, if you like, where people want you to grow your business. They want you to be successful. You know, and for me to grow my business was bigger events, more bookings, all this kind of stuff. And it never really properly sat right with me. I didn't have a 5-10 year game plan. I was just going out and doing mobile bars. Yeah. By the way, that's what I do. I do mobile cocktail bars. So it never really sat right with me until kind of August, September last year. Now, midway through the year, I just decided that I'm going to invest in myself now. So the first bit of coaching I did was with a good friend of mine, Sheena Wyatt, up in Lincolnshire, up in the Shire, and her course was called Kapow, and it was all about branding and about how, not your logo or anything like that, but how you carry your brand forward through your business. So that got me started to thinking about First, and Steve the Barman as an entity and all this and that. But then something just resonated through a foresight. Jill McCulloch, we both know Jill, lovely Jill, hi Jill. She did a foresight at Cambridge South about, I forget what it's called now, about your kind of why, or the 7 Ps, there we go, and all this and and she just kept this stuff really sort of sinking in and resonating, and she phoned me afterwards when she got home and said she obviously got the connection that I got and invited me to go along and do her course. 6 weeks. It was a group thing that we did, and this is where this story leads to, because on the second, so this was 1 a month for 6 months. On the second day, we did a thing about augmented products in our business, and it really didn't resonate with me at all. It's like, and we came up with a list for me about selling branded cocktail shakers. You know, Nikki, she's always had this thing for me about, you know, I don't know what to
shirt range.
Shirt, that, but you know, like little Steve the Barmans where you can put different shirts on them and that sort of stuff. It's stupid, such a stupid. But you know, there's people that think like that. So there was that. There was cocktail shakers. There was coaching, training, and all that kind of stuff. It just never really resonated with me at all. It's just like, I don't know, I do mobile cocktail bar stuff. Well, at the same time I signed up with Jill, I became really good friends with Tanya Brent.
Yeah.
Which is, she's a YB12 coach, and so Jill was kind of my marketing coach, but Tanya was more of my head coach. And at the first session we sat down with, she asked me what my why was, and I said, well, it's all about people's parties and putting on a good show for people so they can have fun. And she just kind of laughed at me, really, because she saw something that I didn't, and I really kind of believed that I knew what my why was.
Yeah.
And just long story short, she did a few more questions, blah blah blah, bits of work, bits of writing, and then came the third time, asked me what my why was, and it just really hit me like a big slap around the chops. Because I thought, so we're going back to the foresights, the 120 plus 4, I thought while I was travelling the country, going to Leeds and York and Liverpool and Manchester and Taunton and Basildon and God knows where else I was going in the country to do it, I thought it was all about brand awareness. I thought I was building a national brand, which I've done, but actually was nothing to do with that at all. As soon as I cottoned on to what my why was, it all fit. My why is actually teaching people and educating people about spirits and drink. I want you, for instance, to be able to go out on a Friday night down your local, instead of getting a stupid little gin and tonic with one, I want you to be wowed by a drink.
Well, I'm going to bring this
Oh,
in
here we go, look.
There we go. I thought this was some sort of bottle out of Aldi.
Aldi? This is Mount Gay. Mount Gay! It's like one of the best rums out there. Ah, mojitos with this.
Should I get the glasses out?
Yes, don't be straw.
Yeah, okay.
But that's what I'm... Because of the spirits thing, kind of thing, from back as a 19, 20-year-old, it all just... I completely missed what I'm all about all these years. I completely, I've just been doing something that brought me in money, which I love doing, but I actually had no purpose to it, if you like. Now, all this, through Tanya, through this, all this, the mobile cocktail bar side is still there and will kind of be there for a long while to come because I enjoy that. But at the start of this year, I've launched pub and bar consultancy work, where I work with pubs and bars and restaurants and that, not teaching them how to run their business, but actually educating their bar staff and the manager, all these people about drinks education. Because there's nothing really out there, and it's very brand specific. So, to quote someone, Pernod Ricard will go into a pub and they will train about Absolute, Havana rum, and Beefeater gin. Or what about all the other products you've got about there? So, this is where this stems from. So all this coaching is actually...
All of a sudden, the penny dropped.
Had your
why.
Massive, big 300-watt light bulbs.
And you've actually done the circle because you're going back to where you saw you coaching in the very beginning. For
coaching, the sports coaching, through my very first pub, which was a training house. As an 18, 19-year-old, I was there part of the team training 40, 50, 60-year-olds how to run a pub. I loved that back then, but through 15 years or so of my career, I completely missed and forgotten all that. Yeah. So I've kind of come full circle. Yeah. But you can tell now, watching me on video, I'm so animated because I love what I do. So I've got the pub and bar consultancy that's kind of rolling. I've got the big thing that I've just pushed out is my kind of version of this actually. My show is called STB Live. Not STD as in sexually transmitted diseases, no.
I didn't wonder what I was going to get on this interview.
STB. I'm sorry. No, STB as in Steve the Barman. STB Live. And that's the hashtag. Search that hashtag. And what the show is all about is because I would get people all the time coming to me saying, Steve, what can I make with that? I've got a bottle of this at home. What can I do with that? And I started off about 18 months ago doing cocktail videos, which are great, but they never really sat with me because you have to know the drink that you're going to make to go and Google that drink to work out how to make it. So the cocktail videos didn't really last too long, but now with the STB Live, what I'm doing is each show is dedicated to one spirit, and I'm going to...
When am I booked on?
Half an hour. Well, it's kind of... But see, this is the big thing. This is where I
want to do something with that bottle of rum.
Do you know Saturday Kitchen? BBC. Right, okay. my plan, it'd be great to have, you know, I've not got a house for it, but it'd be great to have a kitchen and all that. Oh, we've got an audience. Hi. Is that hubby?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, it's hiding.
See, we're not editing.
It's go live.
What my thing would be if I had the thing I would love to replicate Saturday Kitchen
with booze.
Invite people like yourself on to come and sit at the end of the bar and have a chat about your business, chat about what you're doing. But the whole, instead of heaven and hell, you know, we've got like 5, right, here's 5 drinks.
There's going to be somebody in 4M with this kitchen. But Lincoln isn't far away.
Oh, what's in Lincoln?
Oh, my friend. I'm not going to come out with the name yet.
Oh.
No. But I'm going to try because she's got the bar, you know, the sit-round breakfast bar.
Yeah, and that's kind of...
Carol.
So what? Hi, Carol. Love the shirts. That's kind of the dream. It's kind of like, well, but I want to cut my teeth. I want to do these things, Facebook Lives first, and I've toyed with YouTube Live as well, so we might start rolling out a bit of that. I'm going to repurpose as a podcast because there's really no specific drinks related podcast that I can find out there, and I'm a big audio thing. This is something else. Oh, this is coming back to networking as well. These are my... So we've mentioned a few people that have been real big inspirations to me. There's 2 others that I kind of want to mention. The first big one is Ian Dixon. We were chatting about this earlier. Ian Dixon has completely revolutionised the way I work and the way I'm building my business through his business success diary. It cost me 12 quid, 11.
That's it, I've got one. Yeah, I've got it on my desk.
And it's just this way of chunking things down each month, each week to get to your goal. I've never worked like that. I've just kind of, and this is kind of, I've had these ideas but never followed through because they just seem too big. You get waylaid by time, they don't happen, you just think it was a shit idea, wasn't it? Let's spin it, sort of thing. So that's that. But the other one, the other big, massive influence to me at the moment, for a couple of reasons, is a guy called Kirk Pickstone. Love Kirk.
I see him on Foreign Community, I don't know him.
I love Kirk. He's massive, he's dyslexic, but he's not...
I do! Yeah, I've seen the most amazing interview.
Here we go. Right, so he's... loads of stuff he's doing, but he wants to change the world, dyslexic, all this kind of stuff going on. He wants to prove the world wrong. That resonates with me on a couple of levels. Purely, I'm not dyslexic at all, but I've only recently worked out that I learn through audio. I don't learn through reading. I have not got the attention span to read, and this is something I picked up through Full Networking as well. You know, it's all this audiobooks and podcasts and all these other avenues to explore. I haven't got time for video because if I'm watching video, I'm doing something else. So it's just this audio. But the thing Kirk's done is he's gone on this thing, and it's massive because he's just started his podcast, getting people on and interviewing, and all of a sudden he's got his TV opportunities coming at him, he's got his radio show and all that, because he's got this passion that he just truly...
I listened to his interview with, is it something like Educate in Edinburgh?
So it's...
in Edinburgh?
It's like Edinburgh Real, Edinburgh Live. It's like London Real.
And it's amazing.
I watched it this morning. Well, it's an hour.
It's an hour? I've only seen like 2, that was obviously the promo.
I watched it this morning and it's proper hard. But, but this guy, as in, as a mentor, as an inspiration... Because he's embarking on the same sort of journey that I'm, there's a real big kind of the podcast, and he's helping me with podcast stuff and learning and all this stuff. But that's another thing that 4N's done, is because without the audio, without me realising that I learned through audio, which was another conversation with another 4N, it was an NLP guy actually, real bizarre conversation. Do you want this story? Are we running out? Go on.
Cool. If they want to listen,
we can chat all day.
We can waffle.
We can chat all day. So, very quick story. A guy came to Full Networking meeting. We were chatting pre 8:30 about that, and he said, I've got a book you should listen to. And I said, why did you say that? And he said, no, I just think it'd be good. No. I said, no. Why did you say listen to? And he went, well, it's obvious. You're audible. You learn through auditory, don't you? And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? This was 2 years ago. I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, you don't learn through reading, do you? And it's because I just completely, what? It just spun my head.
But as soon as you hear that, you actually realise, because that's That's me. At school, I'm sort of on the border dyslexic, and it's only when you see somebody do something, you think, I can do that. Yeah. It's not a problem. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah, it was just this whole thing of it. So now I've got an Audible subscription where I get through a couple of books a month while I'm driving. I've got endless podcasts on my iPhone, so I don't listen to music in my car.
No.
It's just my source of learning. I love to learn because someone's opened my eyes up to, or my ears, as it were, to the fact that I'm crazy, absolutely crazy. So now I'm embarking on all these other things.
Well, what a fantastic. I always hate this word, it's another one as well, but journey.
Yeah.
But it actually has been, hasn't it? It's all these things.
It's been a magical 3 years for me, absolutely magical. And, I'm not the most well-off person in my life. And this is kind of...
That's going
to come. But there's, I mentioned earlier about this peer group pressure about, wanting to grow your business. It was quite funny. And I don't think Brad will mind me mentioning this because Brad was one of the big influences of me trying to grow my business. All these ideas, Steve, you should do this, you should do that, and it's what he never said. Now he's what is actually really resonates with me because I'm all about, my thing is not money, my thing is memories and experiences and things like that. And it's kind of, whether I own my own home or not, again in the future, I don't know, that really doesn't matter to me. But actually taking Mummy Barman out every Sunday to a farm shop for breakfast.
I think that's wonderful.
That is I could fit this Saturday just gone. I got in at just after 3 o'clock. Didn't get to sleep till 4 o'clock. I'm still awake. Well, a bit late, but I'm still awake at 8:30, 9 o'clock to the farm shop. That means more to me than having zeros at the end of the night.
Actually, I totally agree there, and I think you're fortunate that has sort of the pennies dropped there earlier than, to be honest with me, later. It's all of a sudden you think,
I never had the drive to really grow. Don't get me wrong, I love my business and I want to be successful in my business, but I've never had the drive to grow it so I could just sit back and not do much.
And in this thing, all this list of things you want to do, one of the things you see as well is a book at the end of it.
Yeah, see, this is... So, right, to put this in, I don't know whether I mentioned this, I've forgotten. So one of the things the reason for the show is that people say to me, Steve, I've got this bottle, what can I make with it? Now, as I said, you've got to know, if you've got that, you've got to know the cocktail you want to make. So you can go away and Google it, see it, make it right. So the whole point of the show is, each show, one spirit and all that. But actually, that really ties in nicely with a book. Because all of a sudden, then each page, maybe each kind of 2 pages, maybe of this book, is actually an encyclopedia kind of thing. I don't know what you want to call it, but a kind of you can flip.
You're on your way.
I've got Spice Rum. I've got Warner Elder's gin.
Well,
I'm looking forward to educating you on that.
I am, and I always say I don't like gin, but I know I'm going to love it.
So, true story. I was up in Rugby last Wednesday doing a foresight, and I'm just starting to roll out my new gin. Foresight masterclass kind of thing, 20 minutes dedicated on gin. Woman said to me right at the start of the meeting, I don't like gin. And I turned around to her and I said, no, you do like gin, you just haven't found the right one yet, which is you. Now, 20 minutes, well, an hour or so later after the foresight, but she was trying it and she's like, oh my God, that's lovely. Yeah. That's my why. That is precisely my why. It's not about being this all flashy cocktail barman or anything like that. It's about finding something that you love, that you could roll out when you're having family around the table on a Sunday lunch or a Saturday night. Try this drink. That's what I love. So yeah, it's not the fact you don't like gin, you just haven't found the right one yet.
Oh, I see Christmas presents happening
here.
The kit.
Oh, the kit. Oh, yeah. See, there's all this potential from... Now that I know what my why is in business, which is a very powerful lesson for anyone, because if you think you know, are you really sure that what your why is? And now that I know what mine is, I hear it in people all the time, and you think, no, that's really not your why, but I get it because I was the same. And it's such a powerful thing that can unleash all kinds of ideas and inspiration and all this stuff to take you forward, which is just what's happened. So.
Yeah.
There we go, but
there
books and stuff.
And you're going to come long on April the 24th.
April 24th, it's in the diary.
Because
it's a Monday.
we really, the fact that you want to get to the point of being a book,
yeah,
we're going to take it through from what you should be writing for your promotions, which you've heard at all the full sites, but that is, and how to SEO, this sort of thing, but right through to the fact that you can publish a book. And if you want to
so
publish
it's kind of a how-to publish
it's
a book.
how to.
It's this thing, you know, I know, I've got all the basics there. There's like the Amazon Create Space, I know how to, it's just all those little...
Well,
that's what I mentioned with the indexing thing, you know, it's chunking it down, it's knowing all those little parts.
For what you're doing, I think people would like to hold that book, wrap it up in the Christmas present and hand it to them.
Like a book that cuddles them, because I like a cuddle. Everyone has a cuddle.
So they can, the Steve Cuddle.
Yeah.
So we've got a guy that can literally print you one book, and then that will be revealed. But if you want to print one book, and then you sell it on your website or wherever you sell it, and it emails through, and it's printed overnight, and he puts it in the post, and there we are.
So he does that.
He does that for you.
Cool.
So, I mean, it's always a good idea to get a few books done, but not these so you're stacking out your loft.
I'd sell 20 a morning at breakfast.
Everyone, no, but actually...
But it's just this whole, again, the augmented products that I covered with Jill, and you know, that didn't fit at the time. It was just like, now...
It works with it, yeah. Well, I see it as the gift set with the components to make what's in this book.
Yeah.
Commission.
Right,
thank you so much for coming, Steve.
Are we finishing?
We are. What else do you want to talk about?
I'm waiting for the waffles.
The waffles?
I've come here for a waffle.
Right, we'll go and make some waffles now. You are going to... The waffle is what you've just done.
Oh.
You waffled on, but...
I want my money back.
No, you are going to come and do these waffles.
Oh.
Yeah, you can come. You can make a waffle.
By the way, look at the drinks cabinet. Look at the drinks cabinet. She's got a bit of Malibu and Butlin's favourite thing.
Hang on a minute.
Lambrini we've spied. Look at this.
Yes.
Cherry Lambrini.
Yeah, and I've got... That's definitely the Aldi. Oh, hang on.
It's wine, mate. Crabby's ginger wine.
That suits me.
Do you like ginger wine?
I love
what do you drink it with?
On its own.
A bit of whiskey. Whiskey Max. Or a bit of
I only like whiskey in hot toddies.
Okay,
I like it in that. I'm trying to think what other...
Interestingly, this is quite funny because Stones is the big brand of ginger wine. So
ginger beer or whatever.
Ginger wine, the big flame, the big brand out there is Stones and stuff. But this is Crabby's, which you don't really see in bars. And that is brilliant. It's phenomenal. It's my mum and dad. You know, mum's been on that for God knows how many years, like 30, 40 years. It's the best one. That with a bit of whiskey in there.
So I've got to try the whiskey.
Yeah. Or just a bit of lemonade or something. It's just.
Well, try it with whiskey and lemonade.
Yeah, it's a good sort of.
I can see how that probably would work.
Yeah.
Because it's all the sort of spices.
It's medicinal. It's the adult version of Calpol. That's what it is. You bet you didn't realise that, did you?
I didn't. But
break that out on your Saturday nights.
Yeah.
Ladies and gents, it's not really medicinal, but.
As long as I can have more than 2 spoons, I'm alright.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So it's got my drink units on there.
So what are you drinking? What's your drink of choice?
Do love a bit of Malibu and lemonade.
Oh, Malibu. Guilty pleasure, that's fine.
Yeah, and then you see my choice of a white wine. It's not all these dry stuff that is all... Oh, actually...
Oh, what are we getting? More Aldi stuff.
No.
The good old Echo Falls.
Echo Falls. There we go. Strawberries and cherries.
That's it. We're going classy, ladies and gents. We're going classy. So we've got a really good run. We're cracking out the Lambrini and the Echo Falls.
Listen, I'm a cheap date.
We live in Essex. We're in Essex.
Are we waffled out?
Oh, we are waffled out. Thank you very, very much for having me.
Thank you
it's an absolute
much for
pleasure.
Coming.
Absolute
Loved
pleasure.
it. This is Waffle with Wallis, over and out.